All right. So thank you. I'm gonna just share a little bit about what's happening today. I just came back from just came back from Panama. I've been a few days in Panama, just a little break with my wife. And guess what? It's a massive outage or blackout here in the area where I live. There is no internet, there is no electricity. I charge my phone with my laptop, just a little battery to have enough battery. There's no internet. I'm using the data. So that was oh, what a day. Very convenient. We're talking about self-sabotaging, and it's like this is happening. So this will be my first time hosting an event with my phone, with no slides, with no everything. I love it. It's another challenge. And also just one more thing. I've just been awake for the last 32 hours because, the flights and then the bus and everything. So but it's okay. Everything is perfect. I love it. Everything is meant to be like the way it is right now. So no complaints about it. I freaking love it. So, so saying that, like I said, maybe this is too much to carry on right now. Maybe we shouldn't doing this, or maybe we just need to adapt to the circumstances and keep going what we're doing. Maybe this is another lesson. Maybe this is a challenge that needs to be learned. In this case, from my side, like it's okay. In life, we don't have everything that we want the way we want it, right? Most of the time, we get things in different ways, right? That's it. So I told Wesam, it's perfect. Let's do it. Let's rock and roll. Nothing's changing. so, so thank you. I would like to thank Wesam for always inviting me. It's always an honor to be here and a pleasure to be with you. If this is something that maybe the sound, the footage maybe is not working well, it's just the internet. So please just it's the way it is right now. So, and then let's talk about a bit about self-sabotaging. And if you were the last event, which was the reprogramming the subconscious mind, it's pretty. I'm not going to say exactly the same. It is pretty much the same with a few different things, right? And I would like now talking about challenges. I would like to try something different, maybe at the end when we stop the recording, probably. Um, but let me see how this goes, how we go with the timing, and then I might try something different. Now that we don't have slides, something popped into my mind, and I think, oh, this might work now for because I've been trying to do this a few time ago now. So let's dive in. So first of all, if you wanna engage or say something, just pop on the chat screen, or maybe I don't know if you wanna raise your digital hand. I might not be able to see it, but if you wanna interact with me, please do it. Right? I really encourage you to do it. So and and also I would like to be clear. The last few events have been quite clear, but every time I come here, this is just my experience. This is just me sharing my experience doing a thing that is called a psyche. It doesn't mean that you need to follow what I'm doing. It doesn't mean that what I've done is the right way to do whatever I'm doing. Not at all. I just share it. I'm not a therapist, I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a doctor, I'm not nothing that ends with it or something like that. I just sharing my experience. So, self-sabotage. Has anyone have an idea, or because I think self-sabotaging is quite we have a very different definition, right? Maybe for self-sabotaging for me would be something maybe different from you. Does anyone who hasn't been with me in the sessions, who hasn't, please don't cheat on this. Someone who doesn't know anything about or haven't been working with me has an idea about self-sabotaging. If you have an idea, please pop up on the chat screen, or maybe you want to raise your digital hand and share something. Because I would like to know what are your thoughts about self-sabotage before we continue. If it's anyone wants to share something, please do it. Okay, I can read procrastinating. Okay, beautiful. Anything else? Dressing up as a witch. I can read the messages, some messages here. Okay. Okay. Dressing up as a witch. I like it. So anything else? One more, please, if you don't mind. One more, just one more. Otherwise, I'm gonna self-sabotage is blocking yourself when you want to get something. Beautiful. I'm gonna read definition that I found on Google. I can't remember exactly the place. And let's see what this. I can't remember. I can't exactly remember where I took this definition. So self-sabotage undermines your success despite your own wishes or values. It often stems from low self-esteem, negative self-talk, and related negative emotions, which are continually reinforced by the resulting. I don't know exactly what the heck is this. Like, I think it's too fancy. That's how I found it. Um, but from my experience, again, I because I like simplicity. I think things are way simpler than we think they are, right? And because according to this, self-sabotaging undermines your success despite your own wishes and values, yeah? Which I think I kind of agree with that. And it is coming from the negative self-talk, but the negative self-talk is the human brain, is the condition of the human brain. We have self-talk. I mean, regardless, it's because I can let me remember these figures. But human brain, uh, let's say, throws around 12,000, 60,000 thoughts per day, something like that, which out of those, let's say 60,000, 80% out of those are negative and repetitive from previous days. So it's like a condition from the brain. So I think it's self-sabotaging or self-sabotage from the way I have experienced in my life, especially thanks to the work that I've been doing with Psyche. It comes from, again, from your programming on your subconscious mind. And I'm gonna go a bit slow with this. So what do you mean, like you're programming with your subconscious mind? Because for me, what I felt or what I see through like self-sabotage with myself was I was trying to achieve a certain goal or accomplish something that I thought, or maybe maybe I was right, that it was good for me, for my maybe for my family too. Something that I thought it was good for me, and for some reason that I couldn't explain, I wasn't able to do it for whatever reason. I remember feeling like something out of my hands or out of my control was blocking me, sabotaging me, like, I don't know, an invisible force. Let's say like that. That's how I felt it. That's how I experienced it. It's like, like for example, like today. If this happened maybe a few years ago, I would probably thinking the universe is conspiring against me or something, or some people are trying to, that's how I felt it. And believe me, a lot of people feel this way too. Like something out of our hands is, trying to stop us to get what we want, to accomplish something, right? For whatever reason. Nothing further from the truth. It's that's why it's called self-sabotage. It comes from us, not because we hate ourselves. Yeah, not because we hate ourselves, at least consciously. Just pay attention to this word, at least consciously. Well, we probably don't love ourselves the way that we're supposed to. We might think that we care about ourselves, but maybe maybe it's not that true that we think, right? But not because we are bad people, or not because it's like like I said, we hate ourselves. It's because we've been conditioned, programmed, since we were kids. Dr. Bruce Lipton also, who is one of my mentors, says that a baby was in the belly with the mom for the last 3 months of the pregnancy starts receiving, downloading all the perceptions from the environment. So imagine that. From that age, we're not even born until age 7. We we download the most. I mean, it's where we form our 90% of the beliefs that they're gonna be based on our lives for the rest of our life in the first 7 years of age, which is crazy. So whatever happens during those years, it's gonna conditioning ourselves. It's gonna shape our beliefs. So, and the reason of that is because we operate under the theta vibrational state called theta, and also hypnosis. That's where imagination comes from, right? I talked about this in the last event in this reprogramming the subconscious mind, but this is pretty much the same because it's not something like, I don't know how to explain this, but it's not like there's something very, fancy, very like says here, like all the negative emotions with the conditional reinforcing the by the resulting and all that stuff. It's just simple than much more simpler than that. Whatever place or whatever place we grew up with the environment at home, at school, with your friends, like it or not, it's gonna shape our beliefs, and it's gonna shape our perceptions for the rest of our lives. I'm not saying that there is nothing we can do. Of course, we can do it, but it's really hard to figure out, especially when this stuff is not taught in schools. We go to school and we pretty much how I experienced it. I don't know how is education these days, but the kind of education that I went through when I was in Spain, which it wasn't not that much because I was too boring for myself. So I did it. I'm a high school dropout. I couldn't handle it anymore. I said, fuck it, no way, I'm not gonna do it. And the way that I've seen it, or the way that I experienced it, is the schools they're gonna teach you, they're gonna shape you to get a job. That's it, to be an employee. That's it. That's how I see it. That's how I felt it. You know, and then I'm going to teach you how to manage your emotions, your thinking, how to make good decisions in life, financial decisions, financial education. It's out of the education. So, it's not a coincidence, by the way. So, and if we don't know how to manage this, if we don't understand the human brain, the condition, why is here, this. No, I'm not talking about the mind, because the mind is one thing and the brain is something different. The brain is more the physical stuff, let's say. And we have at least two minds, which is unconscious mind and conscious mind. So if we don't know how to deal, let's say, how to deal with what we have here, it's going to be really hard. And then your environment, the people that you surrounding with, is gonna play a crucial role in your life. In your life. And how is that? Look, I don't know if you know this author, Robert Kiyosaki. I've been reading a few books from him. He has a best-selling book, which is Rich Dad Poor Dad, which I think is. I would recommend that book to everyone because it explains really well about financial education. This is the basic stuff, all right, and it's not going deep into details. But what they said, and also Bruce Lipton shares this, like a kid which is in a wealthy family tends to be rich for the rest of the life because that's his environment. He's used to it. He always says both. People say uses Donald Trump as an example, right? Like he, grew up in a very wealthy family and he became a millionaire. He lost everything. He lost everything, and 2 years later came back richer than ever. He became a billionaire, or apparently that's what the story says. I have no idea if that's true. But they use that example like because his mind, his programming, his perceptions are according to the programming he had when he was a kid. And that's why most of the time, not saying all the time, someone who is growing up in a poor environment, in an abusive environment, most likely is going to repeat those patterns because that's the programming, the messages he's been receiving from that environment. It has happened to me too. Has happened to me too. Because we don't have the slides, so I'm going to share a little bit about this. Back in the day, middle 90s until 2002, I was fighting against addictions. I was completely addicted to drugs until September 2002, when said enough is enough. Right? Something happened. I experienced kind of a OD, and that for me was my turning point. Before that, because I grew up in an abusive environment, with myself, with my parents. My dad used to beat my mom, and it was everything was a chaos. Uh, that was a messaging that I was receiving when I was a little kid. My dad was a wealthy person; he was rich, but we weren't happy at home, right? And my mom was all the time fighting with my dad, and vice versa. So for me, being rich or abundant or wealthy meant chaos, violence, abuse, everything. I mean, I'm not saying that consciously I was thinking. I wasn't even aware of that until just, I mean, almost now. But because I grew up with that environment, with that kind of messaging, I was, performing, let's say, performing according to my beliefs and perceptions at that time. And then I started trying some drugs, and then, life is shit and everything sucks. And then my addiction was an evidence that the world is effed. The world is effed, everything is shit, everything sucks. So why bother? I was just reinforcing that perception unconsciously. Obviously, I was trying to escape from, because I didn't know how to manage those emotions from that situation. Like I said, this stuff is that's I mean, it's not taught in the schools. So that was my way to deal with this situation. I was hating myself, probably not, at least consciously, but I wasn't loving myself anyway, either. And that happened, my friend, because the subconscious mind was programmed in that way. Which means, and let me throw this question to you guys: are we responsible for all self-sabotage? Can someone answer this with the questions? Are we responsible 100%? Okay,
Well,
yes,
I would
somewhat.
say no, not 100%. But
Okay.
ironically,
For example, if you, yes, it's not your fault if you're born in a poor environment, it's not your fault. But if you remain poor for the rest of your life, maybe you have something to do about on this, right? So, like Bernardo says, we are not responsible 100%. However, when we become aware about what's happening with us, and we still doing the same, my friends, we are 100% responsible. All right. And then, but it doesn't mean that we can keep sabotaging ourselves if we're not aware of, because I knew it that something was, let's say, I don't like to use this word wrong, but something was going on. All right. It wasn't normal that I was trying to, achieve something, and bam, and not, and failing and failing and failing and feeling like shit and beating myself up as a result. Right. We are not responsible for growing up in an abusive environment like I was, like many people in the world were too. We are not. I mean, we you know, we can control that. Well, apparently, we cannot. But we can do something about it. Yes, because especially about something. I mean, sometimes for some people like me, hard times, challenges is the necessary fuel to change, to make things changing, to reach that turning point, if that makes sense. I don't say that everybody needs to go through pain in order to grow, but for some people like me, fuel or catalyst for that. And now I started managing that too because I don't want to go through through pain unnecessary or for the rest of my life because that's another perception. That's another belief that we can change any time. So my friends, let's keep it simple. A self-sabotage comes from within, all right, from the environment and from the messaging that we receive repetitive over and over and over again. And I know that I like to use examples like money. I'm not gonna talk a lot about money because I'm preparing something with Wesam talking about specifically money because I share with you guys that I had addictions back in the day. My most toxic relationship in my life was, it has been money, much worse than drugs, way worse than drugs. So money is a huge thing, all right? It's considered the pretty much the biggest stressor in people's life. It's the number one, followed by relationships, work, and health. But the top one, money. Not saying that everybody's exactly 100%, but it's the number one for many people, right? So, okay, let me do something here. No, yeah, yeah, all right, oh, good. So it comes from within, from the subconscious mind, the programming that we had when we born until age 7. Because after 7, we change. We are not operate from theta state anymore. I think, and this is I can't remember exactly which one comes after. I don't know if it's alpha or beta. I can't remember. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know my slide. I can't remember. But yeah, we move from theta to a different state. So theta is hypnosis, imagination, and we are more receptive than ever in those in those years, from zero or from pregnancy for the last 3 months of pregnancy to year 7. So that's why if we, I don't know if it has happened to you guys, you've been trying to, putting all your good intention in achieving something and accomplishing something good. Do you think it was or it is good for you? But and just consciously wanting that doesn't work. And I remember me, it's like, what have I done wrong with my life? Why life is treating me so bad to me? So why? I'm a good person. I'm a good man. Come on, give me a break. Give me a break. I put in all my love and all my intentions in doing this and doing that, but I keep sabotaging myself once. I mean, over and over and over again. I've been my biggest sabotaging myself. I mean, I'm a huge one. I'm not ashamed to share this with you guys. My God, I pretty much sabotage myself in everything, uh, everything I can possibly think of. Thank you. Thank you, what's up? And but how I see it now was a lesson. Of course, I went through coaching. I went to NLP. I went to mindfulness. But for me, and that's what I'm gonna start sharing this personal thing. For me, Psyche, which is the energy psychology, was is the belief changing process at the subconscious level. For me, that simple because it's quite simple process is what really changed my life. Because because the way that we cannot achieve things or accomplish goals in life is because we don't know how to communicate, at least the way that your subconscious mind knows or gets the message. And why is this relevant? Why the subconscious mind is so important in this? Simple. I said before, we have a brain, a physical thing. It's in the inside here, right? It's this kind of gray. It's like a mass, right? That's the physical thing, which is called brain. And then we have at least two minds: the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. The conscious mind is just the one who is aware about everything we're doing right now. I know, guys, you're talking to me. I'm talking to you. Sorry, guys. Some of you might understand what I'm saying. Some other maybe not because my accent. I'm just kidding right now. But it's the mind who knows what we are doing right now. Someone is speaking. You hearing some voices, and you can decode those words, and then you can understand what I'm saying. Also, is the one responsible in set goals, wishes, desires. It classifies and organizes and judges information. This is right, this is wrong, I like this, I don't like that. That's basically, let's say, basically the conscious mind, right? And also inside the brain, we have two hemispheres: the right hemisphere, which is this is my right, and my left hemisphere. It's something in the middle, which is called the corpus callosum, which is kind of a bridge, all right, to keep those hemispheres, in, let's say, full communication. Let's put it this way. The conscious mind is very how to say volitional. No, no volitional. It's more like I say, it judges, it structures information. It can handle around 1 and 3 tasks at one time. It's okay. It's kind of multitasking even for men. All right, but no more than 1 and 3 tasks at one time, and it has very limiting, let's say, very limiting processing capacity. It can process around 40 bits of information per second, which is, I think, it's okay. I don't know exactly how powerful is 1 bit, because it's just a measure. It's how they measure the capacity of processing of the mind. So 40 bits of information per second. And also, conscious mind, I was going to forget this, operates all the time in the past and the future. Sounds familiar? How many of us are hanging all the time in the past and the future? Maybe someone said something to you that you didn't like, maybe last week, maybe yesterday, 10 years ago. You still remember that? Oh, I was one of those that always I have my invisible note. I was writing down everything but one day my justice, my vengeance will come very, how we say in Spain, a venganza se sirve en un plato frío. It's like a vengeance is served in a cold plate or a cold dish. That was myself. Or it's hanging out in the future, planning, and like, oh, we're gonna do this and that. That's your conscious mind. Subconscious mind, on the other hand, it only cares about now. It doesn't understand about yesterday. It doesn't care about tomorrow. It cares about now, right now. It cares about present tense. It doesn't also understand about negative sentences or connotations. For example, it doesn't understand something that you don't like. It does understand about things you do like. Regardless, the subconscious mind doesn't filters information, doesn't know if this is good or bad for you. It just receives the information. This is like an iPod. You remember those iPods? When you get the new iPod, you take it off the box. You might press the play button and didn't sound anything. Why? Because you need to download music, right? Subconscious mind on your brain works in a similar way, like a computer. In this case, the subconscious mind is like an iPod. It needs a program. It needs music in order to function, no? In order to operate. But the kind of music you're gonna download to your iPod is not gonna tell you this is good or wrong for you. I mean, if you download rock music, and it's not gonna tell you this is shit or this is no, it just gets the information and that's it. And then you play, you press play the button, and then you reproduce the music. You listen to the music, right? Your conscious mind will tell you if you like it or not, but the subconscious mind not. So it gets the all information, right? Doesn't filter that information, doesn't judge that information. And also, the subconscious mind can handle thousands of tasks at one time. Actually, now we all are using your subconscious mind. Like my subconscious mind is commanding my fingers, my muscles, everything at what time. Powerful, right? And we are not aware of that. We are not thinking. I mean, can someone tell me how to breathe, or what's the necessary steps in order to breathe? Like not just inhale and exhale. What happens when we inhale? It's just crazy, right? We don't think about that. I guess at least I don't do it. And also, and this is the most relevant thing, the subconscious mind can process, pay attention to this, 40, again, 40 million, 40 million bits of information per second. 40 million bits of information per second. It is a million times more powerful than your subconscious mind. A million times more powerful. That's why it's so relevant. That's why it's so relevant to know how to operate, how to manage your subconscious mind in order to achieve anything in life, because it's the one who is running the show 95%, at least, at least 95%, that most of the time is 97% of our entire life. So remaining those 5 or 3% just for the conscious mind. What is this? What are these things that I'm saying, telling you right now? That we are operating in autopilot, let's say autopilot, 95, 97% of our entire life. We don't know what we're doing. We are just going through, let's say, going through emotions, like with the programming that we have into the subconscious mind. And most of the time, consciously wanting something, it's not enough. I'm going to say this. How many of you, which I raise my hand now in advance, how many of you have been attending a Tony Robbins event or whoever? It doesn't matter. You get pumped. You get on fire. It's like, oh my God, now, this is going to change. And you might end up that workshop. I'm saying workshop, it could be a book, an audio book, anything, right? But you're very motivated. You're on fire. You are this, now this is going to change. And then you ended up a few weeks, let's say a few weeks, or just 2 or 3 months later, going back slowly where you were before. And probably more frustrated than, than where you were. That pretty much nothing changes. If, or maybe if, something very small, very insignificant, maybe. I'm saying just maybe. For some people, maybe not. It's a huge change. But for most of us, including myself, I've been in the Unleash the Power Within. Last year, I read nearly, no, not 50, but yeah, 40, I think it was 40, 46 books, like crazy, reading like crazy. And I mean, Amazon, audiobooks on Amazon, Joe Dispenza, Greg Braden, and Bruce Lipton. I mean, you name it. I've been listening and so pumped. But it didn't really change much, or maybe at all. Because this is good, no? When we get into the conscious mind, but to make that change, we need a subconscious mind, and that, my friends, it has taken me decades to figure out, not by myself, because that's how Psyche found me. I'm saying Psyche. It's a different energy psychology, different ways. I tried Psyche. Is for me is the most powerful tool to create change at the subconscious level in just a minute. So, but because I want to try something now that I don't have slides here, I want to try something different today. But before that, if you practice some affirmations to see changes, or for whatever reason, I tried affirmations for a long time and it didn't work for me. I didn't know how to, let's say, create those affirmations or goal statements. Let's put it this way, right? So we're going to share three simple, very simple steps, same steps that I shared the last event with the reprogramming the subconscious mind, because it's pretty much the same. So in order to start creating new goal statements that at least your subconscious mind can understand, it needs to follow at least these three steps. And I'm sorry, I don't have the slides here. So first, it has to be all the time. Remember, the subconscious mind only cares about now. It has to be all the time in present tense. It is something that is happening now. It's not something that is going to happen maybe in the future. No, it's happening now. And I'll give you an example just later. Just give me 1 more minute. It has to be in present tense. Always first person. It's about you, no one else. Like I or me. I, me. And the third one, which is most of us, or at least that's what I was making a lot of mistakes. It has to be positive oriented. Just focus on what you want, not what you don't want. Focus on that what you want. Remember, subconscious mind doesn't understand about don'ts and no, negative, doesn't get it. For example, this is a typical one. I've done this. I want $1 million, right? I want $1 million, right? Is that not willpower? Yeah, I mean, the willpower is, thank you for bringing this point. Willpower, discipline, it's, for example, when we start a car, it's just a necessary fuel we need. Of course, we need a discipline and willpower to start. But after time or over time, it's not enough. It's not enough. Look, I consider myself a very disciplined and with a lot of willpower in my life. I mean, even when I wasn't with addictions, I know how this sounds like what the, Yeah, I still manage myself to go to work and wake up early, go to the gym and stuff like that. I was very disciplined, and after that, very disciplined, organized. But you know what? I was wrestling with myself all the time because I got the idea that it had to be hard, really hard. I mean, the harder the better, in order to get something. But that's another belief. That's another perception. It doesn't make it true. It's just a belief. That's how I grew up with. That's where the environment that I grew up with. Like you need to work hard, and you need to. I mean, money doesn't grow in the trees. You need to work hard for money and all that stuff. And then my ego was telling me all the time, if it's not hard, it's not worth it. But no, it's not. I mean, I'm talking from experience, from my perspective. It's not the case. It doesn't necessarily be like that case. We can start achieving and attaining goals, and not necessarily have to be like a really, really, really hard. It might be hard in the beginning, but it doesn't necessarily to be all the time. And please excuse me because I have my runny nose because coming from Panama with with an aircon, I have a runny nose for the last 2 days. That's all. It's runny nose, nothing else. So, sorry, I'm just got a bit distracted. So, yeah, willpower is a very good fuel to start like your car, to start your vehicle, right? But we need something else to keep moving that machine. We are like a car, right? Now we need the right fuel, which is your mind. We need to work together. This is like a teamwork, right? We need to work both minds together. I'm not saying that you have to be more conscious and less subconscious. No, both minds are really important. Exactly the same with the hemispheres. You don't need to be like more right side hemisphere or left side hemisphere. I don't know if you're familiar with this. The right side is always considered more artistic, more emotional side, and the left side of the brain is more structured. It's more like logical, rational. Right? We can be both. We're not just gonna need to be just one side. No, we can be both sides. I used to be more like a bit more left than right. Now I'm working both sides. It is very, very possible, right? So in order to start creating at least new goal statements or let's say affirmations needs to like I said, like first person, present tense, and positive oriented, which means like I want $1 million. That's a mistake of this statement. Anyone who hasn't been with me in the sessions, who hasn't yet, sorry, can tell me why this statement, I want $1 million, is not accurate? Can someone type? What am I doing here that is not 100%, let's say, correct, or at least not accurate, this statement? Because it's present tense, huh? I and first person want $1 million. What am I missing here? There is something I'm missing here. Can someone answer this? Oh, maybe I don't see it here. Thank you, Wesam. Yes. So wanting something, I want $1 million, is a future. So what happens if you keep saying this, let's say 100 times every single day for the rest of the year? Next year, you still wish, you still want that $1 million. That $1 million won't be here because you're wanting, you're desiring, you're projecting something in the future. I'm not saying that if you say I have $1 million, it's gonna it's gonna come out tomorrow, but it's a good beginning. It's a good beginning that at least your subconscious mind understands. There's a lot of more work to do after that, but at least it's a beginning. Because I use that word, I want this job, or I want whatever was it, for months, right? And it didn't work. Of course, like I said, affirmations and good intentions or willpower is it's not enough. Tony Robbins always says the success is always achieved or get or accomplished by 80% psychology, a 20% mechanics, yeah, something like that. Yeah, we still have to take actions, but obviously, your mindset is at least 80%. Your mindset includes your conscious and subconscious mind. Your conscious and subconscious mind. Bruce Lipton shares, which I tried these two. The first one, not much because I came across with Psyche a bit earlier. But self hypnosis or hypnosis can help you to start programming your mindset. So he says, like, you can record on your phone or using your phone based on these principles with the goal statements. For example, I have this job, or I love myself unconditionally. That's the one that always tested with my psyche sessions. We can test if a belief or perception actually is integrated into your subconscious mind. We can test that in a matter of seconds. I want to do this with you guys just at the end, because I can do that. I cannot do a whole process, all right? But we can test if a belief or something that you think you believe that it's in your subconscious mind is actually in your subconscious mind or no. For example, when we start always with the first session, we test I love myself unconditionally. And I'm telling you right now, so far, 99% of the people, including myself, failed it. Failed it. It's okay. Like I said, it's not your fault. It's not our fault. because we grew up in an environment that maybe loving yourself unconditionally, it wasn't the norm, or it wasn't um, that important. All right, because like I said, for me, we grew up in an environment that people become employers, obedient, and we've been told what to do when we're at school, what to do, what subjects to learn, when to stop to have a break, what to eat, when to eat, everything. At what time you need to wake up, going to from Monday to Friday, so on and so forth. So we've been programmed to follow orders. Let's say this is how I experience, right? So it's normal. So loving yourself unconditionally probably is not as important like maybe I don't know whatever the things. But yeah, we can test that in a matter of Seconds. We can check if it's actually you love yourself or not, at least into your subconscious mind. So grab your phone, record. I believe you want to have into your subconscious mind. It could be, I love myself. As many times as you consider, as many times, maybe, I don't know, for 20 minutes or 30 minutes. Like, I love myself unconditionally with meaning, all right? With meaning, not like a robot, like I've done right now. Like, I love myself unconditionally. No, I love myself unconditionally. I love myself unconditionally. You can do it there for at least, let's say, 15, 20 minutes on your phone. And when you're going to sleep, get on your headphones. Because when we go to sleep, there is a window there before we just fall deep sleep, which is we go into theta, again, theta state. All right, theta again. Remember the theta state when we are kids, when we download the information, we create 95% of the beliefs for the rest of our lives. Yes, every time we go to sleep, there is a little like small window. Like I don't know how long it takes for you to go sleep, but for some people maybe minutes, like me, like I don't know, 5 minutes, I'm completely dead. For some people, maybe it takes a bit longer, right? Well, but in that window, you put your headphones here, not too loud, obviously, otherwise you won't sleep. And then you close your eyes and you relax yourself and just let yourself go. That's one of the ways, according to Bruce Lipton, epigenetics, that you can start creating changes. How long are you going to need to do this? People are different. Maybe for some people it takes days. Maybe for some people it takes weeks, months. I don't know. We don't know. But it's a way where we can start doing it. The other way that it says is about repetition, because the conscious mind learns from repetition too. So repeating. Remember when we those who drive, when we start driving the first day, me, we didn't have eyes and feet to look at the mirrors and the pedals and everything, right? It was crazy. Like, look in this mirror, that mirror, the river mirror. We didn't have enough eyes and feet. What happened after a few weeks? You start feeling more comfortable, and then after a few months, you don't know how you don't know how you got into your workplace or at home from work. It's like shit. I'm here now. Fuck me. Because your subconscious mind takes over. One, it learns something like walking when we are kids. How we learn how we learn walking. We stand up, we fall, we go up and down, until bam, we start walking. Then you don't need to learn how to walk anymore. Can you imagine going to sleep and wake up every morning and learn again how to walk? What a nightmare, right? That's the power of your subconscious mind. Once it learns something, bam, it stays there. It's like riding a bicycle and everything. Once it gets it. It's sustainable. It's I would say even forever, right? Or maybe if you've been not driving for many years, it might take maybe a few more minutes. But once you get used to it again, bam, that's it. You go back again as you were before. So that's the power of our subconscious mind. That's the power. So repetition, they say like affirmations, first person, present tense, positive oriented, and repeating like you need to at least, I don't know, I've done this. Um, it didn't work for me well because I didn't experience much change, but it doesn't mean that it's not going to work for you. For some people work, for some other people don't. It didn't for me, but at least I tried and sharing this. For example, I am happy. Okay, I can write it down. I can think about. I can silently say to myself, I am happy. I'm happy. Right? But again, with meaning, with passion. If we just repeating the word like I'm happy, I'm happy, it means nothing. It's like useless. You're wasting your time. So you better do something else. So you can try that. Write it down. You know, take your time. I don't know, block time. Maybe 20 minutes in the morning, 20 minutes in the evening. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's with my morning meditations because I'm a morning person. But you can do it at night time. Some people do it at night time too. And start repeating this and putting that meaning, like, I love myself. I love myself. I'm happy. You don't have to do this like I do because this is the way I expressing myself, right? You don't have to do it, but this is but please don't do like I'm happy. I'm happy. Like like means nothing. I'm gonna share now that I remember something. I remember when I was in Melbourne working in a prison. I was a correction officer for nearly 5 years, and then when this COVID thing started, the early stages, I remember I was at the front desk in they call it the health desk. I was doing the COVID questions to every single staff in that prison, and counting because we have a monitor, almost 500 staff. And I was doing it from Monday to Friday, asking the same bloody questions, right? But like, are you feeling? Are you have some flu-like symptoms, some chills and runny nose, like I have now right now? Those questions, right? But because I like to test things. I'm a researcher. I'm natural born researcher. I like to test things and see how these work, or maybe try new things, new approaches. Anyways, I was with my notebook and I was taking note about the people. The people were coming in the morning, and I was asking, how are you, my friend? How are you feeling? That wasn't the COVID question. That was a question I wanted to ask because I care. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you that many people, a lot of people, I think if I remember, it's around 80 plus percent. People come in on a Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday, it doesn't matter, like this, with this body language. Yeah, yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, fine, I'm good. Their words meant I'm fine, I'm good. Their meaning, their body language meant something completely different, probably the opposite. So, for example, if you say, yeah, I love myself, mate, you are sending a completely opposite message to your subconscious mind. You're feeling like shit, and that's what you're telling yourself. It doesn't matter if you're saying, I'm happy. Your body, your subconscious mind, is not buying it. Because your energy, your intention, all right, your meaning, your passion is not there. If it's something that works really well, it's your body language, your energy, your physiology. That works really well. I'm not saying if you say, yes, I have $1 million, but it's going to happen tomorrow. But like I said before, it's a good beginning. All right? Like, I have $1 million. I have $1 million. You know what I'm saying here, right? So we need to work with everything. The day that I left, let's see, the day that I changed my life, the turning point in my life with drugs was exactly when I had the experience in OD. I remember that day like clear, like it was yesterday. I said, "Ya está bien." O sea, I mean, which enough. It's enough. I'm done. But I wasn't saying just with words. I was saying with my body, with my energy. I said, enough. Enough is enough. Ya está bien. Estoy harto. When you're using your whole body, your whole energy, your physiology, they say, now, this is just, it's done. Something starts to change. Something. Like I said, it's a good beginning. Because you know how many times I tried to stop drugs? hundreds of times, but I wasn't serious about it. I was say, yeah, I'll try. Yeah, I need to stop this because now I'm done. I'm gonna do it now. I'm gonna use my body. Like I said, you don't have to do like what I'm doing. This is the way I express myself. But when you're serious with yourself, like 100% serious, something, even if it's a little thing, starts to change. 100%. 100%. And for me, the way that has been working the best for me, it's been Psyche. I'm not going to promote here. I'm not promoting myself like this. I'm just um, sharing this because I've been working. Let's say I've been working with other members from here. We're doing Psyche together. If I'm not saying that this is for everyone, but I'm saying that this is for me the most powerful tool, at least process that has been working immensely well with me. And I really want to, because I love this platform. I love this group. Wesam is an amazing human being. We connected since day one. We connected really well. All right. I can. I mean, for me, it's an honor to call Wesam like my friend because I consider her like my friend. One day I know when I'm gonna go to Dubai and we're gonna have something. We're gonna have we're gonna have some drink or something because I love this person. It's very special for me, and because of that, I wanna I want to give you the opportunity to experience what I experience with myself for free. I mean, I want you to have a session, a psyche session with me. But I mean, absolutely free of everything, because look, some other members came with me, and then the experience is now some changes. I want you at least to have the experience. You see, look, we can try, we can test. If we have time, we can test. If someone wants to double check a belief that might think that it's believing, I don't know how to put it in these words. For example, no, I think I trust myself. Well, do you wanna check if you really trust yourself at your subconscious level? We can do it in a matter of seconds. All right. If you wanna try this right now, we can do it. I need to do some because because what we're doing inside case is energy work, and if you guys were here with me in this room, we start doing for that what it's calling kinesiology, correct? Muscle testing. We use muscle testing to verify, to calibrate if something is actually a belief or not, such as I love myself unconditionally. Okay, let's test it. Okay, Mike, sorry, you don't believe in that. You don't love yourself unconditionally, at least at the subconscious level, the level that matters the most. We can test that even remotely in a matter of seconds. Seconds. It takes just seconds. I just doing some protocols of surrogations, which is because we are not here in this room. I need to do this muscle test on your behalf. So this is energy work. We're using quantum physics principle, which is called a quantum entanglement, right? And then I connect with your let's say energy field, your energy body. Some other people call it the higher self and all the stuff. Because according with the quantum physics, everything is energy and everything is connected, which I agree. I agree 100% with that because that's what I experienced in my life. So, if anyone is interested to know if a certain belief is actually believed by the subconscious mind, we can take a few seconds now. If you want, Weston, we can stop recording if you want to. You don't have to have your camera on. You can do with your camera off because I need